Realistic Sustainability Educational Shorts. First things first, you're never going to see the video that I make while I record this because today I had such a hard time reading my notes. I have readers on. It makes me feel old. So guess what? I am not putting this video out. That is for sure. The audio, well, as you know, because you're listening to it, it's still on the podcast. It's one of the greatest thing about podcast is I could dress however I want and no one even knows. Anyways, back to this week's short. Most of you already know that I believe that the political system in the United States is pretty darn broken. This two-party system can be bought, and I think most of us feel that way. I've even been quoted on saying what I believe, which is I think we need more parties in government. For me, the sweet spot is like 5 viable parties, but you kind of have to have a third one before you can get to 5. With that being said, and I am trying in some sense to work with what is possibly a third viable party. With the existing 2 pushing further and further for extremes, I think there's value in having someone sitting in the middle. So there's an individual named Andrew Yang, some of you will know, who has worked with some Democrats, some Republicans, and is trying to put something right square in the middle for the United States. So I've been attending some of those meetings, both in Michigan and Arizona, and there are some things that I really like seeing in there. A couple of things I want to point out. As they're building this from the ground up, they're functioning slow. Most of the times, these groups come together and they feel like they have to hurry up and get where they're going. When you do that, you skip steps. You skip all these important building points. They're not doing that. The states are slowing down and building their structure. It's a well thought out organization, and it's filled with people from both sides of the aisle. There's a bunch of diverse opinions, and they actually don't even have to agree. All they have to do is not be extreme and have the things in mind that people need. Be working for people. That's pretty much about it. There's a couple of things like ranked choice voting and things that we should be doing anyways. But other than that, they just have to not be extreme, which is kind of cool. One place where multiple opinions are just accepted. That is so far one of the most interesting things I'm seeing while I'm there. Also at the state level, they're willing to lead. They're willing to build a structure, include everybody, look for people's skills and put them in the best positions to do well. They're not immediately trying to run candidates. They're just becoming a functional organization. I like that. That's reality. That's a pretty good thing to see. They're willing to be patient, which I got to tell you, it is rare to see an organization, especially in something that can be emotional like politics, take the time to do it right and be patient. They're rarely putting the cart in front of the horse. Now, occasionally it gets said, but there's always these people who kind of recalibrate everything and keep everybody moving in the same direction. This is the forward party. So it is pretty cool. Even some of the leaders are willing to take a back seat. The ego isn't there that I've seen in other places. Everybody takes a turn at certain things. People know their strengths and weaknesses. So far, I'm not seeing that ego that says I'm fantastic at everything and that the organization should take a back seat to me. The organization is the focus. The people are just supporting it. These are great things. And the only reason why I want to tell you about it is because I get to do some stuff with them. Next month, I'll be speaking to all the members in Arizona about sustainability and kindness projects. Could you imagine, and I know I've said this in a few other episodes earlier, having a nationwide organization where one of their core values is to do, not just say? Could you imagine a political party who proves it with action instead of just standing up there, yelling, screaming, and saying something? Could you imagine a party or a group of people even who are just positive? And they just continue to work in a positive way. They don't get down in the mud. They don't go to crazy land with the rest of politics and get beat by experience. They simply change the game. They just do it. I am bringing those ideas and they are accepting them. There's a reasonable chance by next month, 2 states will adopt it into their core values to be able to do kindness projects at least 1 day a month. That groups get together and do something great for some other community. Maybe it's sweeping the streets or fixing a bench. Maybe it's creating or developing an edible landscape project and helping the community maintain it. Who knows? But if it's part of the core values and every month they come up with something, well, that's just fantastic. And it makes me feel good to be able to be part of something that could do that. So hopefully, Arizona adopts it, and so does Michigan. Now, the only request I made to them was, if I have this opportunity to speak, please record it. And don't worry, it's going to get put on the show, just like the Future of Downtowns was. I hope at some point we can keep talking about kindness projects, and more people will do them, and more organizations will do them, to the point in which we don't have to preach it anymore. It becomes a core value in humanity, because it used to be, and it needs to be again. The crazy part about all this is that it's a budding political party. When's the last time you saw political parties or people within those parties just go do something kind? Not set up a photo op and smile while they're doing it, but just simply doing it. And that's what I'm proposing, is that every month for one day, a couple hours, you just go do something. You go cook at a soup kitchen, something. You go play Santa Claus, whatever it happens to be, you go do it. You don't call the media. You don't, make sure everybody in the world knows what you're doing, because I don't know if you know this or not, but a good deed marketed is not a good deed. Hopefully, what happens is it just becomes habit. It just becomes habit to do something good. Let's be honest, if you're doing good things, people notice anyways. They're going to get that benefit. What I want is the community to get their benefit. So far, for the few people I've discussed it with, the few times I've gone on my rants about Edible Landscape or any other kind of kindness project, it's been received well. People kind of gravitate to it. I think there's a lot of people who want to do good. Now, we don't always have the time to do good because, let's face it, society has us working 2 and 3 jobs to survive, or one very intense job that takes up all of our time. So we don't always have the time to do it, but we want to. We want to do kind things. We want to help people. Other than that small segment that has been sold on any act of kindness is creating laziness for others. And by the way, that's all fictional. That's just kind of putting some bad ideas in your head. People are inherently good. So hopefully, those people who are constantly doing these good deeds, constantly going to areas they wouldn't normally be in, when they decide someday to run for something, hopefully it kind of changes their DNA. They now have spent time down in soup kitchens, sweeping the streets and doing things to help communities. They've met people. They've shaken hands. They've made new friends that they may have never made in the past. And I hope that someday that shapes their policy, that they remember those things when they become electable. And maybe they'll even be elected because all these people know them from their kind deeds. And that over time, if we can do that, how many people can you get into Congress? How many people can you get into the House? How many people can get in government who go in meaning well? That's my hope. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you like this short. For me, it's kind of cool just because I have optimism. I have optimism that kindness can change a lot of things. But I do greatly appreciate you taking time out of your day to stop and listen to this show. If you enjoyed it, share it on social media or with a friend. If you want to help realistic sustainability, click the follow button on your favorite podcast platform, or leave a comment, leave a review, preferably a 5-star, of course, because I like to read them. And I would be bummed if it was less, but you know what? Give us what we've earned. Last, if you really feel like realistic sustainability brings some value to your life, you can even choose to support us financially. You can go to greeningyourlife.org/podcast. And if you scroll down, you can find a place to donate. There's even a spot where you can donate a monthly amount through our Anchor hosting site. You can get to that through greeningyourlife.org or from anchor.fm. And you just search realistic sustainability. That would allow you to support us at 99 cents, $4.99, $9.99 a month, whatever you can afford. And for those of you who already do, thank you very much. It really helps us out and makes us feel a little special. Again, we appreciate all of your support, no matter how you do it. And remember, we only come together each week to get a little bit better. Little bit, big bit. And I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next week.
At Capella University, you can learn at your own pace with our FlexPath learning format. Take 1 or 2 courses at a time and complete as many as you can in a 12-week billing session. With FlexPath, you can even finish the bachelor's degree you started in 22 months for $20,000. A different future is closer than you think with Capella University. Learn more at capella.edu. Fastest 25% of students. Cost varies by pace, transfer credits, and other factors. Fees apply.
Feeling overwhelmed by climate change? Looking for sustainable and ethical brands to support? Then Ethic is perfect for you. Ethic is a simple browser extension that helps you find sustainable and ethical brands online. Learn more at ethyk.org, ethyk.org.